Dijonai, how come every time there's a foul, a questionable foul, a flagrant foul, a smack across the face, a fingernail in the eye?
Chaos erupts in the Unrivaled League. DJ Carrington shocks fans with mid-game assault on Kate Martin.
See what really happened here, man, with Dijonai. Okay. Nice pass. Oh, man. So you're going to help her up right after you clobber her like that, right? You're going to help her up after you clobber her like, didn't even look at her. Oh, she's so shady.
DJ Carrington once again finds herself at the center of controversy, this time for a reckless strike on Kate Martin, reigniting debates over her growing reputation for dangerous play and questionable tactics.
If she can't get to Caitlyn, she'll just settle for Kate.
As Martin maneuvered past Carrington, the defender opted for an excessively aggressive move rather than a legitimate defensive contest. In a moment that stunned the crowd, Carrington extended a questionable arm, striking Martin and sending the Iowa standout sprawling to the floor. The impact left Martin visibly rattled, clutching her side as officials quickly intervened, blowing the whistle and hurrying over to evaluate the scene.
It's being reported that Kate Martin gets annoyed over Dijonai Carrington's physical defense during Unrivaled. WNBA standout Kate Martin didn't seem to appreciate the physical defense Dijonai Carrington played on her during Unrivaled League. And I'm telling y'all right now, we already know how she coming, bruh. She's very handsy with her style of play, and she's not the only one. There's a lot of ladies in this league that play like that.
Replay footage only amplified the intensity of the incident. The arm swing was anything but accidental. It appeared deliberate, reigniting accusations that Carrington had reverted to her notoriously rough style in a bid for control. Martin, widely admired for her toughness and sportsmanship, was left crawling on the hardwood, clearly shaken and needing help to stand. Though she managed to return to the game after a brief evaluation, the weight of the moment hung heavily over the court.
She has hurt her nose again. I don't know if it's broken or not, but I think Kate's just toughness, resiliency, and leadership is the biggest thing. And I mean, you see it, like, Kate's a pro player. Like, you see her game, she's hitting fadeaway jump shots, she's going at.
For those familiar with DJ Carrington's track record, her reputation for questionable tactics is nothing new, and once again, it took center stage. Outrage flared following her latest on-court antics, echoing the uproar from last season's heated clash with Caitlin Clark, a flashpoint that remains one of the most talked about controversies in recent WNBA history.
WNBA Twitter is currently crashing out over Black Eye Gate. I'm sure we've seen by now this play where Dijonai Carrington pokes Caitlin Clark in the eye. And after seeing this angle, so many people are saying that it was intentional, right? Dijonai goes up to steal the ball, and when she comes down, her hand goes like this, straight into Caitlin's eye. Do I think that this was a reckless play? Yes. Do I think that she did it with the intent to hurt Caitlin Clark? No. Do I think it should have been called a foul?
Carrington's notorious eye poke that left Caitlin Clark with a visible black eye ignited a league-wide uproar. The act drew swift condemnation from fans and analysts alike, with Indiana Fever supporters especially vocal in branding Carrington a dirty player. For many, it wasn't viewed as a simple lapse in judgment, but rather a defining moment that exposed her willingness to cross the line. Now, following her recent altercation with Kate Martin, those earlier accusations seem more warranted than ever, as Carrington appears to be leaning into the very narrative she once sought to outrun.
It did not stop one Dijonai Carrington. Of course, she's the person that multiple times had, egregious altercations with Caitlin Clark last year, including the eye poke, the eye gouge, the eye scoop out of Caitlin Clark's head, heard round the world last year, as well as whatever that ridiculous flop and gyration was during one of those games.
The game was tense from the start, with Martin's sharp movement and precise shooting quickly exposing Carrington's struggles. As Martin took control, creating plays and staying composed, Carrington's frustration boiled over. Instead of responding with skill, she delivered a reckless hit that sent Martin to the floor. Moments later, she made an aggressive attempt to slap the ball away, a move that felt more like a mind game than a defensive play. The foul was clear, reinforcing Carrington's growing reputation for losing control under pressure.
That's
here, as the camera pans over, she reaches in and swipes at the ball, but how hard are you going to do it exactly? You trying to break somebody's arm? Look at that. Look at that. Boom. You know, it's the small things that ain't great.
What made the incident stand out even more was the stark contrast between Martin's composure and Carrington's aggression. As Carrington appeared desperate to shake her opponent, Martin, recently stepping into a bigger role, remained calm and focused, proving why she's earned the trust of her coaches. Her poise under pressure and continued high-level play only reinforced the growing belief that she's emerging as one of the league's brightest young talents.
I mean, what are we doing? We trying to break an arm now on top of it? I mean, this person just says it. It's almost assault. Good grief. That looked like break my arm, bro.
Carrington's attempt to disrupt Martin wasn't just ineffective. It was a clear sign of frustration. All game, Martin displayed her growing skill set, running plays with precision, making smart decisions, and hitting key shots when it mattered. Despite Carrington's efforts, she couldn't contain Martin, and the foul only highlighted the gap in their performances. For fans, it was evident that Carrington's actions reflected a player struggling to keep up with an opponent who was simply outplaying her. This isn't the first time Carrington has resorted to such tactics. Her fiery on-court persona often blurs the line between competitive and reckless.
So there's probably not one individual player that has benefited more from Unrivaled than Kate Martin. Look, Kate Martin was somebody that came into the WNBA and nobody, and I mean nobody, thought she was going to make the Las Vegas Aces roster.
Meanwhile, Martin's performance continues to speak for itself. Since earning more minutes, she's embraced the chance to showcase her skills. Her basketball IQ and offensive versatility have made her a player opponents can't ignore. Martin's poise under pressure was clear as she refused to engage in Carrington's mind games, letting her play do the talking. Carrington, who has long held disdain for Caitlin Clark, despite Clark's influence on the WNBA, has now turned her frustrations toward Martin. Her use of questionable tactics against Martin, much like her physical play against Clark, including the notorious eye poke, has raised eyebrows and sparked backlash, suggesting her aggression is both personal and calculated.
Basketball. I played ball for a number of years when I was a teenager. Played on basketball teams. I coached basketball. I have watched thousands of NBA basketball games. I've watched probably a few hundred WNBA games in my lifetime. I've watched every single game that Caitlin Clark has played. I've watched hundreds and hundreds of women's college basketball games. I've watched high school basketball games. There is absolutely nothing that is natural about this motion of Dijonai Carrington.
The clash between Carrington and Martin unfolded in a high-intensity game, with Martin continuing to shine as a rising star. Given more minutes, she's shown her skill and composure, but her success seemed to rattle Carrington, who resorted to dirty tactics to disrupt her rhythm. Martin, however, stayed poised, letting her performance speak for itself. Fans have noticed Carrington's tendency to target players close to Caitlin Clark, with one remarking, "It's one thing to play hard, but going after Clark's best friend feels personal." Carrington's actions suggest she's more focused on tearing others down than building the game.
Now, if you hear what the reporter was saying, she was alluding to Dijonai being upset because she felt she got fouled on the prior end. She got fouled on the end prior, so you know what? I'm gonna come on the other end. I'm just gonna...
Meanwhile, Martin's rising star continues to shine, proving that she doesn't need to stoop to Carrington's level to make her mark. Her calm under pressure and ability to rise above the noise demonstrate why she's quickly becoming one of the most respected players in the league. As for Carrington, her continued refusal to respect the players who are driving the league forward, whether it's Clark or Martin, only adds to the growing frustration among fans. While players like Clark and Martin elevate the game, Carrington's tactics serve as a stark contrast, leaving many to wonder if she's more interested in making headlines than contributing to the WNBA's growth.
Persona, and she hates Caitlin Clark, and she resents all the shine that Caitlin Clark gets, and all the way Caitlin Clark anointed herself as the madam, the godmother of women's professional basketball before she even entered the league. and Dijonai's had a tough time living up to her potential and fulfilling her